I've been playing this game for years. I've been a knockout king for years, baby. I'm number one. Get ready. Rain down pain.
He needs some milk.
This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Controls are different. Oh,
And
that guy hit so hard.
He is down.
Hello humans, and thank you for joining me in another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, smash the like button. Now, let's get ready for the show. On today's episode... Hello humans, and welcome to another very special episode of Gen X Gamer. Today, Fight Night Round 4, but more than anything, I wanted to share my experience of meeting the greatest athlete of all time. As a matter of fact, one of the most special humans that's ever walked this planet for many, many reasons. The year was 1985, and 1985, 1986, I want to say, if memory serves right. And I was working at a cookie shop. You know, this is my job through high school. I'm trying to make money to buy video games. As a matter of fact, this is the job that I had that allowed me to buy the first Nintendo. That's how I actually bought my Nintendo, by getting this job. And one day I was working, and all of a sudden he was there. First, a couple of gentlemen walked up that looked like Secret Servicemen. I remember I was like, oh my gosh, who are these guys? There must be somebody important coming in, right? And then all of a sudden, I see him. Now, I have to frame this, guys, because, you know, to depending on what age you are, Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, to my generation, was like Michael Jordan. He was the greatest athlete of all time, and I'd still say that. But he was always so charismatic. He was a personality. There's so many things to so many people, you know, especially in this time when you know, everybody's talking about race and what have you. When you're a little kid, especially me growing abroad, I didn't think about what color he was. I know it sounds ridiculous to many people, but I did not. I knew that he was an American like me, in my little kid's mind, right? And that was the truth. It doesn't matter what other people think. To be an American means you can be of any race, any color, any creed. But to me, he was one of my idols. When I was growing up, you know, sports was a very big part of my life, and he was a legend. Growing up, everybody wanted to see him fight, and everybody wanted to see him on TV, interviewed, right? So I grew up admiring this man deeply. I mean, there was toys that had Muhammad Ali on it. Every time you would play with your friends and pretending you were boxers, you wanted to be Muhammad Ali, right? Sting like a butterfly, fly like a bee, or sting like a bee, fly like a butterfly, whatever. So yeah, he was an idol for many of us. And when he walked in, time just stopped for me. It really did. Now I have to also say that by this time he was already suffering the effects of the neurological disease that he suffered from because of the effects of boxing. But I remember that, you know, he walked up and he was just looking at the cookies and the brownies we had, you know, and he was just distinctly looking at that. And then all of a sudden he pointed that he wanted a brownie. and my eyes must have been like SpongeBob at the time, because I mean I was just smiling and just in awe, right? I was just in awe that my idol is standing in front of me, and you know, I'm about to sell him a brownie. Of course I didn't charge him. I probably would have gotten in trouble, but I mean, I got his autograph, you know, and I kept it, and I eventually put it somewhere because I wanted to give it to my daughter. Unfortunately, I don't know where it's at. I don't know. I put it in a comic book, and I hope I still have it. But I remember the most special thing about this encounter is that after he chose the brownie and looked at me and saw my big eyes, you know, just looking at him and smiling. And to this day, I get a little emotional, you know, when I talk about it. He recognized that I recognized him. He recognized that he was my idol. And he smiled. He could recognize how special this moment was to me. And I actually had to stop and look this up and, you know, and look at it. I had to walk to work 6 miles every day to get to work after school. Now, I'm not telling you this story just woe is me type stuff, because this has really made me become a harder worker in life, you know, because after going through a lot of this stuff, you know, when I got eventually to other jobs and I had to do a little bit extra where other people would complain about it, to me it was just it was cake. So I would go to school, get off early because I had less classes than most kids, because I would go to summer school every year specifically so I could work, you know, and help out. So I would get off from school, go home, you know, get on the bus, and then walk to the mall, basically. And walking downhill wasn't so bad. It's about 5.5 miles. It's a good workout, right? Going back home was the challenge, because it was like 6 miles. So every day, you know, was pretty hard for me. I would go, you know, for a kid, I wouldn't wish that on my kids, right, or on anybody else's kids, but yeah, I would go to school, come home, go to work, get off at 9 p.m. at night, and then I would go home walking, and then I would do my homework, right? Sometimes by the time, you know, the bus that could take me home, since it was so close, they were really far apart. So the last bus would come like at 9:15, and I was still cleaning up, and they would just leave. So I would just walk home. There was no point in taking another route, right? Anyway, but he recognized how special that moment was for me, and he smiled, man. And it was just the same smile that you see on TV when he's being cocky, or when he's smiling at the camera, that made him so charismatic. That's the smile he gave me. He recognized that I was his fan, and that just blew me away. You know, that really made my day. And I kept telling people that I met Muhammad Ali, and by coincidence, my sister also met Muhammad Ali a few years later, and she actually took a picture with him. So that was pretty cool. They say you should never meet your heroes, but in this case, man, I met my hero, and he was exactly the way I pictured him. We still miss him. He's a great man. Alright guys, I'm going to put some gameplay at the end and watch me avenge my defeat. I will catch you on the next one. Never be afraid to be happy. Take care.
A headshot blocked. Just 10 seconds to go in this round. There's a taste of the sweet science. You see the skill he has in counterpunching.
And you know what he's doing is taking his opponent's jab away.
End of the round there, a round in which we did see the knockdown. And Teddy, when a fighter comes back to the corner, having just been floored, typically how are they acting? What are you seeing on that?
Just imagine you just walked into a room and somebody hit you from behind. You dropped. You're afraid to go in that room again. So put a light on in that room and explain to him why he got dropped. He will not be afraid to go back in that room.
Boy, just staying on the outside away from danger and scoring well. Just well-timed, well-placed punches time and time again right now. Very accurate.
Yeah, very accurate, Joe. He's really placing his punches. He's thinking it out. He's seeing the picture, and he knows exactly where he wants to put them.
Good, clean shot, returning fire. Well done by Macho. Just not there. Straight right hand off the mark. Completely turned his offense off. You can see that he's just in an extreme defensive posture, but still, his opponent is scoring here.
Look, the extreme defensive posture is a problem, but if he was moving his head with his hands up, at least there'd be misses there. When his opponent would miss, there'd be an opening to come back where even if you didn't come back, his opponent would be a little worried about sitting in there on you. He'd have to think defense. Right now, he's only thinking offense.
Halfway through what is one of the best rounds you'll ever see. Just great action.
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, if you love roller coasters, you go to an amusement park. If you want to see left hooks, right hands, every direction, great chins, great endurance, great heart, you come to this fight. You stay right here.
Finds his target again. And that's what fighters do. Pulls the trigger right away after taking one. Parries that punch intended for the head. Another jab comes in. Macho's all of a sudden finding his stride here. In that last round, we saw vast improvement.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click the notification bell, and remember, never be afraid to be happy. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.